Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Nerdy Volume Podcast, where we talk about things that are nerdy and interesting. And today we're going to be talking about one of the craziest things going out via Marvel, Thunderbolts. So sit back, relax, and don't forget to turn it to 11.
All right.
All right, y'all. Thunderbolts starring Florence Pugh. Pugh?
I thought it was Pugh.
Pugh?
think
Pooh,
it's
I
Pugh.
call her Pooh, like Pooh Bear. And then Sebastian Stan, along with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, a.k.a. Elaine. Right, from Seinfeld, right? That was her name?
Yeah.
I forget. It's been years, like 30 of them. But, and it's crazy because I'm like 25 years old. But, you know, it's... Oh, is that my phone? I apologize. It's my people. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to see her in this film as
Valentina.
Yeah, a very important. You know, it's funny because I know nothing about this character or Thunderbolts. It was always a rumor, especially when they introduced Sebastian Stan as well as the Black Widow. You know, talking about the Red Room and everything like that.
Yeah.
But you know, obviously, you see that in Thunderbolts, it's kind of like that was like its origin story almost when you introduce Florence's character or Yelena. You know, Yelena's brought into via Black Widow, right?
Wait, was she brought in? What came first, Black Widow or Captain the Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
So Black Widow came out before.
Black Widow came
The
before?
timing of when Yelena was introduced was before Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh, okay.
Like the time frame.
No. I'm talking about
When it was released.
like movie wise, yeah, or
That's a good
slash
question.
show. Which one came out first? I thought it was Winter Soldier.
No, Winter Soldier came out after because Black Widow came in 2020. That was where like there was a huge thing that like I believe like Scarlett Johansson's agency didn't like that it wasn't going to be released in theaters.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's the only Marvel.
It was taken away from her, like profit wise, because
because of that.
yeah, because they didn't want to put it in theaters, or it was going to be in theaters for very short periods of time, which would take away from its value and stuff, and so they don't get paid as much. I remember that. Yeah.
That was a huge thing.
You're right.
And I believe that's when Yelena was introduced to the Marvel or in the MCU.
But she was only introduced at the end, wasn't she?
A Black Widow?
Yeah.
She was like she was one of the main characters of Black Widow because then
Valentina?
Yelena.
Oh, sorry. I thought we
Yeah.
were on the Valentina conversation.
Oh, no.
That's why I was like, which one came first? Because she was definitely, Valentina was definitely in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes.
Right? She was the one who was using, what's his name, Walker? Or Walter?
She went to, she introduced herself to him.
John Walker.
Yeah. And it's crazy that he didn't call himself the agent, the U.S. agent in the movie.
Yeah.
Because that's who his character is U.S. agent.
Right.
But somebody tells me it has something to do with licensing of names and such.
I don't know. I mean, he really, really wants to be Captain America. He just isn't.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
he is everything opposite of who Captain America is supposed to be. And I guess
he's not everything. He's just slightly not there.
Well, and I guess technically speaking, what's his name?
Whose name?
Jacob? No.
Jacob. Whose name?
No, Falcon. What's his name?
Oh, Sam.
Sam is technically the Captain America.
Yes.
So he can't be called Captain America because there's already a Captain America.
Right. And I don't even know what he's just called John Walker in the film.
Yeah, they just keep calling him by his name. That's who he is. Well, because he's not even the
technically he's an agent.
Yeah, but he's not even that because he kind of killed somebody. In Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
that's true.
He killed somebody, and so he pretty much lost all credibility because of that. And so that's why this whole movie is, everybody here is being used as a
pawn.
Well, yeah, but like a off the books mercenary.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
including him, right? Because he,
Yeah.
no associated with him anymore. He's a bad boy. He did a bad
Right.
thing.
And I don't know why Yelena gets that bad rap. That must mean.
What do you mean? She's part of the Red Door or the Red Room.
Yeah, well, yeah, but so was the other widows. So was Natasha, or what's her face? Yeah, that was her name. Natasha.
Yeah.
What they call her?
Black Widow.
They only called her Black Widow.
Yeah, or that or her.
Nat. They call her Nat because I was like, they don't call her Black Widow. They call her Nat. They all call her Nat. And Natasha is what? Because I recently rewatched Black Widow and some of the of Hawkeye, just a little bit.
Oh,
because I forgot that Yelena actually goes after him. You
Bro,
remember, right?
no, I mean yes, but talking about Hawkeye, did you hear what he would? Sorry for his name. Obviously, never gonna remember
Jeremy
his name.
Renner or something.
Yeah. Did you hear what he went on a podcast talking about?
Oh yeah, I seen that.
About like how pretty much I guess there's not gonna be a Hawkeye because they wanted to underpay him. And he's like, what? Because I broke my leg, I'm like half the man now? What's going on? Like,
oh, yeah.
And I was just like, yo, the guy's got a point. Like,
Yeah.
You can't just not pay him what he's worth. I mean, he's been doing this for however long now. Over a decade.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they wanted to do another season, a season 2.
Yeah, but they wanted to pay him less.
Yeah. And he's not going to do it, but I believe they're still going to have it.
Maybe.
But I mean,
they probably have the girl in
why would
it,
you
right?
pay him less? Like, why would you even offer that? Like,
right. That was what he was saying. But he was. I think he was also saying it's like it's not Marvel that's the problem. It's Disney. Disney is they're a bunch of cheapskates who just don't want to pay people their value, and so that's who he's upset with in the end. It's not whoever the director of or the producer of
right.
But Disney itself, the owner, right? So, but I was like, dang, that's messed up, bro. That's messed up.
Yeah, I don't know how they thought that was okay. You know?
Yeah. But yeah, so if you don't know, Thunderbolts is all about the outcasts, the misfits, the forgottens, who they're just not up to par for what we know as who the Avengers should be, and so but. By a twist of fates, they have to come together and save the world from Valentina, which, by the way, her character is... You kind of love to hate her.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she does such a great job of her... Like, that character was made for her. She plays it so well. She's what every politician strives to become, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
In the worst way possible. Like, just conniving and evil and like, just get away with every possible, like, illegal thing they could do. But
she just continues to move with the flow every time.
But the great thing is we have, what's her face? My freaking screen always likes to go dark. My phone is dying. Florence Pugh. I'm pretty sure it's Pugh, not Pooh.
Could be Pugh.
I think it's Pugh.
Pooh Bear.
But she comes back as Yelena, who I think kind of just killed it in this movie. I think she did such a great job.
She did extraordinary.
Like, her character in the first one was really funny. Like, her in Black Widow, right? Great job. Like, she was that comic relief. The younger sister who was kind of like just foolish. I saw like a, what do you call it? It was like a montage of just things that Yelena said during any of her filming, and like one of the things was about the vest. I don't know if you remember. Oh yeah, you just said you watched it, right? And she's like, "Isn't this vest
pockets.
cool? It's got so many pockets." And like it just go like there's a whole thing of her just talking about this vest, and in the end it's like, "You want my vest, don't you? You kind of want this, right?" Yeah. But like it's so funny, but. So she comes back in Thunderbolts, obviously, and she is kind of lost. She lost her sister. Her dad is he is who he is. He's still stuck in the glory days of being the what was he? He was called the
Red Guardian.
The Red Guardian, right? And so, but she's kind of depressed. And this movie was long. Did it feel long to you?
It felt like normal to me.
Really? I was like, wow, this movie's going on forever.
Like an hour and 40 minutes, right?
Was it? No.
It was 2 hours, was it?
Was it?
I don't know.
That's crazy if it was. I thought this movie was like, it felt like it was 2 hours and a half.
No, because you can
2 hours. This movie was 2 hours and 7 minutes.
Oh, okay. I'm tripping.
Yeah, no, you definitely tripping. Yeah. So, but like, I don't know. Her character was really good. She was still really funny. She still had a lot of like good scenes.
A lot of depth.
But there was a lot of depth, right? I think this movie really. I think what was good about it was because all of these characters, they're all not good people, right? They all have done something really bad in their life, and so they're kind of like, yeah, they're the misfits, right? And so they think their worth is only so much, and you know they obviously they work for Valentina, and they're what they don't know, or I guess they do know somewhat, I don't know, they're kind of getting rid of all the evidence of the work they've been doing, or that Valentina's been doing, because we see that she's getting impeached.
Or in the possibility, yeah.
But I don't know what she's being impeached of. I'm like, is she a congresswoman or a senator or something?
She was a leader of something.
I was kind of confused when they were like saying, "Oh, we're going to impeach her." I'm like, but is she a congresswoman, or is she just a private?
She's like a private sector, right?
Yeah, part of the private sector. Then you can't. Can you impeach her? I mean, I guess you can remove the contract from working with her, but so that was kind of confusing to me. But beside my point, okay, I'm gonna come back to this later because I don't want to jump around. But so obviously, all these people, Yelena. You had John Walter. You had Ava Starr. They're all getting rid of all of this evidence, and then in the end, they're put in one room together, and Valentina's got each one trying to kill the other person and get rid of all the evidence, right? Because they're part of that evidence. They're part of that loose ends. Thank you.
And you know what? Speaking of that, it reminded me of the Spider-Man meme, where all the Spider-Mans are pointing at each other.
yeah. I know what you're talking about. But but to no avail of Valentina, they did not kill each other. Well, except for one. One person did die.
I can't believe she died.
Who was it?
Antonia. She was a taskmaster.
Oh.
She was the daughter of the guy of the Red Room.
Oh. Okay.
Antonia Dreykov. Yeah.
I was like, I don't know who this girl is.
She's like, I'm not here for you. And I'm like, oh, it's not. Boom, gets shot in the head. I was like, she's on the freaking poster.
Yeah, they just didn't want you to know that she was gonna die right off the bat. But in the process, they meet Bob. Bob is an interesting character. I liked Bob. I feel bad for Bob too. So yeah, so all of this is kind of really interesting. They really focused a lot on the mental health of people and how broken they really are, right? That all, you know, because you have the Avengers who, though they have their shortcomings as well. They were always seen as in like a brighter light, you know, the better part of themselves, and they never really focused on all of the harder parts of what it means to just be a person going through life, right? But these characters is completely opposite. They're literally the opposite of the Avengers in every way possible. They've all fallen short. They've all made mistakes. They've all been, you know, used in one way or another to do evil things, and yeah, and you can see the effects of that in their lives, and they just, you know, they don't trust anybody. Except for John. John continues to think that he's there to actually do something like, oh yeah, no, I'm here to really work for Valentina. It's like, no, boy, you were also going to get killed. You're about to get incinerated with the rest of them.
Exactly.
Right? But his character, I liked his character too, because he's just like, he's not a nice guy.
No, it's because he couldn't live up to the expectations of the people. And he kept. It was funny because I was watching parts of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and John Walker kept saying he kept saying things like, "I just want to be good with Cap's right hand man." Like John was assuming that that's who Falcon was his right hand man, but Falcon was never. He never thought of himself like that.
Yeah.
But people thought of him like that, and he didn't like that. He didn't appreciate that. He's like, so like. He wanted his respect, but he wasn't looking at Sam as
an equal.
He was looking at Sam as someone that should be on the side.
Yeah,
and that's why. But it came with the. it came with the symbol of being Captain America. He didn't know. He didn't understand that Captain wasn't just Captain America. He was a captain. He was a leader.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to, or what was it? He didn't force everyone to be a leader. He wasn't like a sergeant. You know what I mean? He did things based off of what was right and wrong, what was wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And John Walker doesn't do that. He does things based off of what is right in his eyes. Like he's like, you follow me, I'll get you guys to safety, which isn't a bad thing. It's very, very military, right? But Steve Rogers wasn't that way. In my opinion, this is kind of how I took John Walker's character, because obviously you see, we didn't know what happened with him and his wife until later on, much later in the movie.
Yeah.
Especially with Bob's power.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, what's going on? He crashed out. He had a bad day, and it ended up ruining his entire life.
Yeah.
I was just like, because of how he was brought into this, it kind of like, it almost is like, well, you messed it up, and now you have to live with it.
Right. Yeah. I think the striking difference between him and Steve Rogers is Steve Rogers was like the good over all else, right? And it doesn't matter, like he's not willing to sacrifice anyone if it means that it takes a life, or like even if it's for the better, he's not willing to do it, right? He'll always find a better way to doing something. Mm-hmm. While John was like, no,
that's not how it works.
All means are possible as long as the good is the result, right?
Yeah.
And so I think yeah, he
has a little bit warped. I wouldn't say it's completely warped, because there's other people that do. Like Peacemaker is someone that's warped, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But he's nothing like Peacemaker.
He's in that direction, though.
He's definitely in that direction. He was going in that direction.
He's not. Yeah. He wasn't fully. Yeah. I'll kill everybody and anybody as long as it means it's for the greater good.
Yeah.
But he definitely believed that there are definitely sacrifices that can be made if it means, like, I'm willing to kill the one for the 100. You know, that's kind of how John, I think, saw it.
And he killed that kid because the kid was provoking him, wasn't he?
I can't remember.
I forgot about that scene specifically, but he killed him. I was like almost a retaliation. But the reason why it was so big was because he had the helm of Captain America.
Right. Yeah. And Captain America wouldn't have done that.
He wouldn't have done that. He would have knocked him out and hang him on his feet.
Bam!
He's like, and then he'll just like kind of make fun of him. I was just like, but then again, he took the serum, didn't he?
John Walker.
John Walker?
Yeah, John Walter. It's Walter.
Oh, it's Walker right here.
Oh, no, Walker. You're right. Oh, no. Bob called him Walter.
Oh.
Yeah. Bob always called him Walter. He's like, it's Walker. Yeah. So, he had super strength.
Yeah, because I was like, where did he get this strength from? I was like, when did he take the serum?
Talking about, dang, I just like smacked the heck out of your mic. I was watching there was a clip of, or not a clip, but there were people talking about that John Walker is a stronger Captain America or superhuman than Steve Rogers, and I'm like,
it's possible,
but there are only bases on that, which I guess is a valid base, but at the same time I don't think that's I don't know, is because when they're in that shaft and he's like, let me see, and he jumps freaking forever high. Mm-hmm. It's like that's the reason why he's stronger. I'm like, is that really a
because there's a leap?
Because he was able to leap super high, and it took him like 10 seconds to come back down.
Did they forget the thing that Black Panther and Steve Rogers did in the beginning of Infinity Wars, when they were going towards the gate at Wakanda? Him, didn't they leap together? Yeah, I was like, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, that's back when Steve Rogers had two little shields.
I definitely don't think that. I don't think John Walker is stronger. And I think, I'll say this, I'll say my reason why. I think is because when it comes down to it, there is a level of self-sacrifice that is needed, right? Like think about this. Like the whole thing about if a mother being able to flip a car over because their baby is underneath or whatever.
The adrenaline.
Like that desire to save someone's life.
Yeah.
To no extent, like they will physically harm themselves to the point where they just become overly strong. I don't think John Walker has that ability. I don't think he has the ability to go so far within himself to be stronger than
Steve Rogers.
Steve Rogers will always, like, if you're out beating him, he will find the strength in himself to then become better and stronger, right? As the I forgot his name. As the captain of the Black Bulls would say,
Yami.
Yeah, as he would say, push past your limits. And Steve Rogers does that every time. I don't think John Walker has that inner drive. Not yet, at least. Maybe one day he will. But as of right now, definitely isn't. And he's a freaking idiot, by the way. Yeah. He is so dumb. Yeah. And it's so funny. He's dumb, and he doesn't know that how dumb he is. Like, at the end of the movie, or actually, I think it's the end credits, right? Which we'll get into. But there's a part where she's like, yeah, we're running out of space. He's like, space? What are you talking about? Look at all this stuff. There's so much room here. And she's like, outer space. He's like, I'm like, bro, you're so dumb. You're actually the dumbest person ever. Yeah. But yeah, I think all their characters did really great. And then the Red Guard, so funny. He's just like that.
Alexei?
Yeah. He's just like that overly proud dad that just really wants to, like, cheer on his
when
daughter.
He drove into the area, he's like, Yelena! Dad's here! And she's like, oh my gosh.
Like, oh my gosh. Don't go into the fort. It's a trap. They're going to kill you. Dude. I was dying. I'm like, yo, this guy is too funny. He did such a great job. His character, he's just a good actor. He does a great job as the sheriff in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
He's
absolutely.
He does a great job here. And it's cool. Like, there's such opposite characters. Like, his character as the sheriff is stoic and serious all the time and, like, very worrisome. And then Alexa is just like the goofball who is like, yeah, let's go Thunderbolts. Let's go Thunderbolts. Like, oh, hey, was it Ava who said it? And she's like, yeah. Oh no, it was John. He's like, yeah, we're the Thunderbolts. He's like, Thunderbolts? You named yourself after your Pee Wee soccer team?
And someone pooped on the field.
Oh, that was another hilarious part where he talks. John is talking about himself, and she goes, yeah. And I used to be on the Pee Wee soccer team, and a girl pooped in the middle of the field. Are we done talking about our past lives? I was dying. Oh, they're so good. Like, I thought the chemistry was really, really good between all of the characters.
Mm-hmm. That's why I was really sad that Taskmaster wasn't a part of the movie after her headshot, which I thought was like crazy. A little sus. Like, is she really dead? Because I thought she died from the freaking fall, but I forgot that she actually scrapped Natasha on the ground.
Oh, I remember now.
Yeah,
now I remember the character.
Yeah, and then you have Ava. I was just like, I was watching her powers and stuff like that. I was like, I don't exactly know what she can do outside of phasing in and out and her regular martial arts skills. But I'm like, she ain't beating John Walker or Yelena, or let alone Taskmaster. You know what I mean? I was just like, those three powerhouse martial artists, there ain't no way that Ava can fight them. Well, then again, I don't know nothing about Ava, like getting to the point where she is now from an adult, where she's had all, like, what? She learned how to fight, how she needed to get, like, quantum energy to just live.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just like, that's the craziest part of her powers. So I'm just like, I don't understand how she isn't dope, but she is dope at the same time. You know what I'm saying? I was just I was so confused at her powers and her need to be in the group, outside of she can save people, like phasing. She can phase through things and then, get solid again and all that other stuff. And it's funny that they made like a butt joke to her because she had her uniform.
Yeah. I was just thinking about that when they're like doing the 4-person climbing up the shaft. Mm-hmm. It's like, somebody's butt is really hard. Sorry that my outfit, that keeps me from dissipating is such a discomfort to you.
Dude, yeah. I really, you're right about the chemistry of the film or the characters. I think that Yelena and Alexei had the best, of course, being father and daughter. Especially, remember I was saying that Florence played a more deeper version of Yelena in this one, especially when she was like depressed. And the most depressing part was that the people who are alive that were a part of the family that Yelena considers family never reached out to her. She's like, I haven't heard from you from a year. And she was so like, she was pissed. She was pissed as a young, the youngest would be. Like the youngest of the family.
Well, she has every right. Her sister died, but there's no one to console her.
Yeah. And then, you know, they didn't talk about the mom.
The mom, wasn't she evil though? Didn't she betray them?
No. In the film she acted like it.
So she was a triple agent?
She swapped with Nat. Because remember, she's all like, yes, I bought the family in, but she swapped faces with Nat. So Nat was actually the mom, and then the mom was actually Nat.
Because when we were watching it, my wife like leaned over, she's like, where's the mom? And I'm like, I thought she died because she was evil.
No, she was alive.
Didn't she double cross them? But yeah, okay, never mind. Maybe she just didn't reprise her role or something. Who knows?
Yeah, it's probably that. Something simple that doesn't need to be really brought up in the movie because it was fine without it.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Talking about so a scene that I loved, I thought was really cool. And maybe you'll agree with me or not. Who knows? But when they're in the limo, they're driving in the desert. Yeah. And then Bucky comes in the freaking, you know, the motorcycle, which I'm pretty sure was a Harley. Mm-hmm. And he's just like, and he's like, you know, shooting the guy. Did it not remind you of the Terminator? Did it not give you Terminator?
Absolutely.
I'm like, is this a Terminator like a homage kind of thing? Because it was a very I just waited for him to like just go, I'll be back or something.
Right. Absolutely, because he had sunglasses on, didn't he?
Sunglasses, the leather jacket, you know, a shotgun. You know, I don't know if you remember, but when he was in the motorcycle in the Terminator 2, you know, he's with that shotgun, he's like, boom, boom. And I was just like, yo, this is giving me Terminator vibes through and through. But yeah, that was cool. That was a really cool scene to me. Like him just coming up on the soldiers and just blowing up the Hummers, and then and they're like, yeah, and then he shoots the explosive onto the limo, and he's like, oh, it blows up on them.
And it was funny that he captured all of them.
Yeah,
and I was like, it makes sense because he is the closest to Captain America in terms of strength and being able to capture somebody like as a hunter, because I mean, before he became the winner, or before he became who he is, Bucky Barnes, he was the Winter Soldier, and the Winter Soldier was a beast.
Yeah.
An absolute beast.
Yeah, Winter Soldier was definitely not a person to mess with.
Yeah.
So, so I don't know if you remember, but way back when they came out with what was the movie that just came out?
Thunderbolts?
Nope, the one before that. They had Harrison Ford as the Red Hulk.
Oh, Captain America, Brave Hero.
All right, yeah. So, I guess Thunderbolts is not a prequel to Captain America: Brave New World.
It's actually a sequel, yeah.
Because Valentina makes a comment about the red monster that you know that used to work for the, you know, talking about the president, and I'm like, okay, so nobody's going to explain why Bucky is now a senator? Because remember, one of the things that I was very confused about in Captain America: Brave New World was the fact that there were so many loopholes, or not loopholes, but like just like what do you call them? Like just like Bucky's a senator, but we don't know why he became a senator or how he even became a senator.
I do know that he was exonerated.
Right, but that doesn't make you a senator.
No, but you probably have a lot of, like, well, if you think
there was
about
just so much untold stories that were in Brave New World that were like, okay, hopefully Thunderbolt will answer one, because we assumed that Thunderbolt was a prequel to Captain America: Brave New World, but it's not. It's a sequel. So then it still doesn't answer why the heck Bucky's there.
Oh, he was never really successful though.
Because
Bucky, because in the Thunderbolts, he was just like he lost his position.
Well, he lost position because he decided to go AWOL and go after them.
No, he lost his position before that.
No, he didn't. He did not, because that's why Valentina said to him when they came out. So when they went, oh, the fact that Valentina is using the Avengers building as her new headquarters is dirty.
That's messed up. That's so
I was just sitting like, wait, isn't that the Avengers building? I was like, yo, that's messed up. But in that same scene where they all come to confront her and take her in or whatever, she's like, I've never seen someone have such the shortest term possible, because I'm guessing him going AWOL and going after the Misfits, the Thunderbolts, kind of, because he's a senator. He's not supposed to be doing stuff like this anymore, right? He's a politician. So I'm guessing that's what caused him to get fired. But he was not fired before that. He was definitely part of the...
He caught them as a congressman?
Yeah. That's what he went to go do.
Then how did she know that he got fired for it?
Because he did that. So him doing that, right? As a politician, you shouldn't be going after people. That's not your job. Your job is to be a politician.
But he did it so they could impeach Valentina.
Correct. But that's not his job. That job should have been left to the authorities.
Clary, right?
Or whoever.
That was his name. The guy, the other Congress guy I was trying to...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, Gary. Congressman Gary.
That him, he didn't go after them. There's people that's supposed to be going after them. But so that's why Valentina was saying that your run as senator is done.
That's a little... I mean,
he could be exonerated, but now he's part of the Avengers, the new Avengers, right? No,
what I mean is like...
With a Z.
With a Z. No asterisk. Z. I got the Z. No. I didn't... it's crazy. I didn't take that as he got fired just when Valentina said it. I never thought
No.
Of it like that.
Not when he...
Or just the act of doing it.
The act of going after, I think, is what causes him to lose his position.
But he was already a congressman prior to...
Correct.
Because I was under the impression that he lost his campaign.
No.
As a congressman. That's why he went after them.
No. That was not the reason, because he was still congressman, because they were still asked, like, I don't know if you remember, the news reporters and stuff would ask him questions and stuff, blah 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 blah. He was definitely part of the Senate, not Congress, Senate, because they're two different things.
Yeah, it was the Senate.
The House of Senate. The Senate.
Well, he could still be asked questions whether he was a congressman or not, though. Because he was former.
Yeah, but.
You're right though.
But he was also in the committee, or not in the committee, but he was in the hearing. Sorry, the hearing for Valentina, which was only held for the senators or the governmental people and the news reporters. Yeah. So why would he be in it if he's not part of the Senate?
I don't know, but you're right. We don't have enough information on him, but he did get fired.
And
he was once a congressman.
And maybe he'll retain his spot, but he is part of the new Avengers, so I don't know if he could do both.
And I gotta say,
that'd be a little messy.
So going about the characters and how like Ava was trying to stay alive, and she's trying to find work. Same with John Walker trying to find reason. You're trying to find a reason to live.
Purpose?
Yeah, purpose. Yeah, there you go. And then Yelena, of course, same diff. And then Red Guardian was literally just working a regular 9-to-5. His own business, of course, but still a regular 9-to-5. And so you could just see that they were all just kind of living life. Like what I loved about Thunderbolts is how real they were to regular people, but they have irregular powers and such. You know what I mean? Like the Red Guardian, he's actually a superhuman, just like Captain America, but he doesn't make, but he drives limos. Granted, they're his limos, but still, and then he's like, Yelena, I drive important people. Every now and then, I hear things, and I was like, that's cool. And they were so real about that. And another real character I wanted to bring up too was Mel. She was the assistant of Valentina.
Yo, that girl, yeah.
That girl. So I kept seeing her in the promo for the film, and I was like, "Who is this girl?" Like I recognize her, but it's from other films.
Oh.
And I was like, "What power does she have now?" She has a power. She has the gift of competence. That's what she has. She was very good at her job, and then she also had She had a conscience.
Yeah.
So she was definitely winning on that front. Still though, like. What an incredible cast, I gotta say, because having Mel kind of being like that voice of reason with Bucky, right? Was it Bucky? Her and Bucky was the one talking, right?
Yeah.
And then you have, and then what's crazy is that, you have all these misfits of heroes, and then you put in Bob. And Bob, it's so funny how he got into that situation anyway. He was looking for drugs. And they were like, oh, yeah, we got this study to evolve humans, something like that. The evolution of humans. He's like, yeah, I'll do it. And he was in, what, Thailand?
No, Malaysia.
He was in a completely different country.
I was just like, how did... no offense to the crackheads out there, but... How did he make it to Malaysia? Where did he find the money to get all the way over there, buddy?
Right? Did he like hop on a ship?
That's what I'm like. He must have like been a stowaway on some kind of cruise, not a cruise ship, but a cargo ship or something, and found himself in Southeast Asia or something, right? Yeah. But yeah, that was my biggest question about Bob was like, how did you get to this side of the world? Where did you find the money?
Yeah, I was just like, how'd you get there? Yeah, I was just like, but then you
because
think about it.
It was in Malaysia that the guy came up. Yeah, came up to him and was like, hey, you can become a better person. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that was definitely something I was just like, this is weird. But so his character, I was actually kind of like nervous, right? Because his character was, so he becomes the Sentinel. Is that what it is?
Sentry,
right? Practically, he's Superman.
Yeah.
Without the kryptonite.
Yeah.
But worse, because, he's evil. Well, who he becomes is evil.
Yeah.
He's got that double personality situation going on.
Yeah, it's based from trauma. Right?
Yeah. But his character, when they were fighting him, and nothing was penetrating. He's.
Yeah. No, okay.
He's actually worse than Superman because Superman just deflects bullets. He was able to stop. He was like the Matrix. He's like stopped the bullets and then shot them back. Mm-hmm. He
was OP.
Yeah, I was like, yo, how are you gonna defeat this character? Because I was like, this character is undefeatable. Like, what is his weakness? And I'll tell you right now, I didn't know anything about Sentry at the time. I was like, this character is crazy. And then when he turns pitch black.
Oh, bro, that was so cool.
That was sick. Sick. I was just like, yo, that is pretty dope. And all you can see is like the glint in his eyes.
It was a gold or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, this guy's crazy.
Bro, no. when everything started, getting dark and
the shadows were like yeah.
And then you see the little girl and then
that's what I was just thinking.
Bro.
Who was it to save the little girl? Was it the Red Guardian? Was it the Red Guardian?
It was the Red Guardian, yeah.
Right? And I'm like, oh, sweet. And you just hear go,
yeah.
I was mouth drop. He did not just kill a little girl like that. Bro. That's insane.
Yeah,
I was like,
dude.
Yo, there have been some villains on this show. I mean, even Thanos.
They never show it. You never show it.
He unalived half the universe population.
And he hid Gamora when she was a baby. Remember, from the violence.
Yeah. But he just smoked her in front of the camera. Dude. And I'm just like, bro, oh, this guy is bad.
Once that happened, my brother was like, dude, that was such a jarring scene. I was like, bro, yeah. And you could hear it in the theater. You hear that. They're like,
because nobody expects the little girl to be the one that gets vaporized.
Yeah. And to everybody who's listening, who's watching, if you guys ever see that in a film, let me tell you, that is some freaky stuff, and it has like that hint of the villainy. I don't know the word. The evil behind that is insane, and it's such a poetic way to do it, especially when you find out what actually happens to these people. But for it to first it happened with the guards, right, trying to shoot him, right, and then I'm like, that's crazy. I thought that was insane. That's insane power. But when the little girl did that, I was just like, ain't no way. Yeah. And I mean, this passed Disney's guys, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, how'd they do that?
How did they, no, it's okay. Nothing's going to happen to the little girl. Boom. But I mean, in our defense, right, we assumed, and you come to find out that it's not true, but we assumed she died. We assumed he literally just vaporized this little girl for no reason, and we were just like, "Yo, you just killed her. That's crazy." But you come to find out they're actually not dead. They're kind of just transported, I guess, or maybe like emotionally or mentally, they're transported into just his void. That's what it is, right? His void of just pure just sadness and depression.
Yeah.
Because he had, I think this is what they were hinting at, but he had like bipolar disorder because he had moments where he was really high, really low, and he just constantly just changed his emotion. His emotions were like peaks and valleys all the time, right? So, which was interesting because, that the black void sentry that he was the valleys of his emotions, which were you realize why, because Yelena, she decides, you know what, there has to be something I can do about this, and so she decides to
go into the shadow.
We assume commit suicide. Because she just like, take me.
What are you doing?
And you find out, okay, actually she's not dead. She is in her own like worst memories, and this whole like other world is just that. It's
speaking of
worst memories.
So the power of the shadow is essentially giving people who was ever in the shadow the worst memory that they have, the trauma. It's
all
basically
the trauma.
a trauma thing. So you remember it went all over New York.
Yeah.
So that means all of them people had to relive their darkest, deepest secrets, traumas at the same time. So that little girl, whatever she went through, whether it be like she accidentally slammed her finger in the door, she's going to have to see it every day. Or you know what I'm saying? Like,
true.
And I'm like, what a trip. Because, you know, like when the Avengers had to fight the first wave of Loki's army, everybody remembers that.
Yeah.
Right? There was, you know, so that means that whatever Sentry did, everyone's going to have a story in anything coming out in the future.
The blimp.
Oh, the blimp? Yeah, the blimp, yeah.
I'm assuming if it's in the same time period or if it's in the same universe, 9/11 for people, like these are some really traumatic things that were happening.
Absolutely.
Yo, and them living through that situation. Oh, yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. But so yeah, she goes in, she finds him, and you see what his worst memories are. And he was being abused as a kid. His mom was being abused. He tries to stand up for his mom, and his mom, ungrateful lady,
defends the dad.
Yeah, she's like, you only make things worse. I'm like, the boy's trying to save you from being whooped, and you're going after him. Poor kid. And we understand why he is the way he is. Which also, like, I think it's interesting. They were very explicit about what kind of drugs he took, because he's like, I'm just a meth head, and I'm like, that's him. That kind of threw me off. I was like, instead of just saying I'm a drug addict. Right, he's like it's like I'm a meth head, and I don't know, that just threw me off. I'm like, whoa, that seems a little jarring for
maybe Disney didn't want to accept that term.
They were trying to really like reach that Deadpool status of rated R or something. You know what I'm saying? Killing a little girl, which didn't end up dying anyways. But then the drug ideas and stuff. But I was like, whoa. But it was really good, you know, and. The rest of the group also jumps in. They start working together, and they kind of like come to that point where like, you know, we're here for you. And that was the end. That was the thing he wanted the most. He just wanted to be cared about. He wanted to know that there are people who understand him, who love him, who are there for him when he stumbles, right? Because obviously his mom failed at doing that. His father definitely failed at doing that. You know, and that's what all of these people's problem, like in the end, that was all of their situation. They had nobody on their sides, right? Yeah. Yelena, who had her sister, died, so she felt she had nobody. Her dad didn't speak to her for a year, so, you know, nothing is happening there. Walker lost his family, right? And the people turned against him. Ava, similar situation. Like, these people just felt so alone, so abandoned, so like used and abused, and then left to you know, just die and wither away.
Yeah, and where was Ava's like pseudo father, Brian Forcer? Is that his name? I forget. But he was the original Giant Man or whatever.
I don't know,
because that's Ava's, like, I want to say pseudo father, or maybe like, I don't know, ally. He wasn't there. The mom wasn't there for Yelena.
Yeah, I don't know where.
Actually,
I thought she died, but that's
she was definitely alive. And if she died. If she had died, it would probably have been during like the Thanos thing or something like that. But whatever the case is, you know, the movie. Oh, at the end, where Valentina's like, guys, hey, whoa, and they're all going up after her. So you guys, no, please, just don't follow me, okay?
Kind of play them right into that. Yo, that's what makes you hate her even more. You're like, you little.
Yeah.
Yeah, she walks in and she's like, hey guys, calm down, and like walks around a curtain, and then there's just all the news reporters.
Yeah.
And she's like, so this was my whole idea.
Yeah.
And you're like, yo, how in the world did she turn this around?
And Yelena, we own you now.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah, and you can see on her face that that's the truth, because all they have to do is just.
You know, one thing I do hope that they don't do in the future with Yelena and Alexei is have them lose their accent.
I mean, they can't. That'd be weird.
They've done it before with the Scarlet Witch. She started off with an accent.
Oh, that is so true.
Yeah,
because she was from Bulgaria or some random place.
Somewhere, yeah. It was in that area.
Yeah, that's so true.
I thought it was Russia at first.
Were they Russian? I thought they were.
Or they were caught in Moscow, I believe.
Well, no, but their people were the people from
X-Men?
No. You know, in Ultron, the big, you know how the whole thing came and it killed a bunch of people. They're from that country. That's why they had such a or similar countries of the same.
I want to say Slovene, but that's not Slovakia. No,
it's something like in that.
Yeah,
it's not a real country. I don't think, right? But
it's not. No.
But but what didn't her accent? Didn't she lose her accent because of WandaVision?
No, she lost her accent before that.
Oh, did she really?
Yeah, she didn't have her accent during Civil War. You locked me in my room.
You know, I didn't even notice that. But I don't think they would ever get rid of their accent, because their accents are kind of crucial. They're Russian.
Yeah.
You know, so. But yeah, no. I thought it was very interesting. The whole therapeutical feel to it, like you know, try to focus on this mental health that they all have, and I think that was important. I think that was kind of interesting because these were all people who just failed to be good.
Yeah.
Right, and so because of that, their identity changed to I am just a bad person, and I do bad things. You know, and I'm never going to be good enough. But that's not the truth, right? And Alexandra said it to her, like, you think all these bad things about yourself, but I don't think of any of those things when I see you, right?
Right.
I see someone who's just good, right? And I think that's the important thing. And you know, we get to kind of like just see them kind of their minds shift in that direction. And I'm interested to see what happens next. You know, especially with the two cutscenes. So I can't remember the first cutscene.
The first cutscene was
What was the first cutscene? I can't remember. But
I don't know, but you can talk about the second one.
The second cutscene is probably the more important one, right? And it's them being the new Avengers. And that's where the Z comes from, because Sam is saying that he's starting up the Avengers. So there's not going to be this kind of like weird turf war between them to see who's going to be the actual Avengers, because he's Captain America.
Right.
So does he get the right to have the actual Avengers because Captain America was the leader of the Avengers?
That's a good question. It should be whoever the next Iron Man is. Because let's not forget, I'm pretty sure, or whatever Fury says it is. Or I guess.
But Fury is like.
Because Fury said.
Kind of in space
the
right
Avengers now. Of the Avenger Initiative. And that's why they were called the Avengers. And then you have now the Thunderbolts. But they don't call themselves the Thunderbolts.
They're calling themselves the Avengers. But
I remember the first scene now. It wasn't important, but it was a Wheaties. It was a Wheaties.
Oh, that's thing. What it was. That was pretty funny. He really wanted to be on the Wheaties box.
Yeah, that was his dream. And it wasn't Thunderbolts, right? It wasn't the New Avengers or something like that?
Yeah. Well, that's what Valentina keeps calling them, right? They're the New Avengers, not the Avengers. But so that final cutscene was them being in the Avengers building, doing their thing, trying to figure out, because of the turf war that's about to start with them and Sam and whoever he's choosing, which is, I'm just trying to figure out who the heck is going to be part of the Avengers, if you know. But we then get the scene of a spaceship coming through space. And did you watch it? Yes, you obviously watched it in theaters.
Yeah.
And so you watched you watched the trailers.
Yes.
Right?
I watched one. I don't know if there's.
Did you watch the Fantastic Four trailer?
Yeah, the
Right?
one that.
And so you just kind of like see that spaceship in the trailer, and then you see that same spaceship in the other thing. And you're just like, ah, and then it says 4. It has a huge 4 on it.
Yeah.
And you're just like, ah, and they did say it was an extra dimensional spaceship, right? So it's coming from a different universe.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we already knew all these things because if you watch the trailer for the Fantastic Four, the futuristic past time feel to it doesn't fit the rest of the Marvel universe, right? They have a very like 30s, 40s vibe to them, but it's very futuristic. It's kind of like the Jetsons in that sense, or we could even say the Fallout kind of feel to it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
You know, like that's futuristic, but not futuristic. Style, but yeah, so we obviously know they're from a different universe. So I don't know, it's gonna be interesting because with them Dr. Doom comes.
Well, I don't think he's gonna be introduced in the next movie. I think they're gonna they're dealing with the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, but the Silver Surfer is part of the Fantastic Four movie.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
No, but the Dr. Doom is definitely going to be the main bad guy? Baddie in the whatever the Avengers phase 12, whatever phase we're in now.
Right. I believe we're still in 5.
Yeah.
But I mean, like Shang-Chi hasn't come out, Blade hasn't come out. There's a bunch of stuff that hasn't come out. They got rid of Black Knight. There's a bunch of stuff that that they haven't seen or that we won't see. It's a sad thing. But for as far as the grades go for this film, I really liked it. It really did show depth of each character, mainly Yelena, even especially towards Alexei from her. I did like Ava and John's, like they had different kind of perils in their life that I thought was interesting enough for them to even team up. But it was good to see that Ava was mostly good because everything that she did was actually everybody like. When she left the compound to save everybody, they didn't think she was going to come back.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, I'm here. I'm just like, yeah. Because she's actually a very good person. She just had a very terrible
upbringing
situation. Yeah. Well, yeah. She was in a freaking explosion that killed her parents, and she was the only one left. And she had quantum energy disparity, whatever you call it. But I'm going to give this movie a B+. I really liked it. I thought it was really good. I would watch it again. I definitely thought it was a good movie. I like the part where Yelena says, Dad, and Alexei uses his shield to lift her up into the air, just like how Captain America did to Nat in Avengers against Loki and his army.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool that they did that. I saw YouTube cover that part, and that's why I'm bringing it up now. So yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah. So, this has actually been probably one of the better Marvel movies since Endgame, in my opinion. There haven't been the graphics were pretty dang good. I think there was only one scene that I looked at and I'm like, and that was the part that was the only, and it really was only, I think it was the part when John Walker is fighting the Sentry and the Sentry pushes him or like kicks him or punches him or
into
something.
The building.
And they're inside the room and they're fighting and you could, it's the way he moved was like, but other than that, it was really good. I thought everything was cool. Yeah, the storyline was really well made. It felt, the speed of it was moving good. It didn't feel like they were trying to shove in a bunch of stuff in there. It was funny and serious at the same time. They weren't making it stupid funny, right? Yelena, her character just is so good at just being that sarcastic character that you just kind of have to giggle with. I was pleasantly surprised by this because, like, let's be honest, the last few Marvel projects have just been subpar at best.
Pretty mediocre.
Yeah, and this has been better. I give this definitely a B-. I enjoyed it. I would definitely watch it again. Maybe when it comes out on Disney Plus or something.
Yeah. I mean, I did like Brave Hero or Captain America 4. I didn't mind it. I thought it was just kind of like an end to an era with his origin, I guess, as Captain America. I thought it was okay. I don't think it wasn't as weird as like Love and
Thunder was just stupid.
I thought that was just wild.
I don't know if you know, but I hate that one.
It was so random. What a random movie. But I loved it because of how funny it was to me.
It was not funny.
Because I do that kind of laugh or that kind of stupid stuff in real life. I mean, I don't yell like a goat or anything like that, or like have sentient items jealous of other sentient items. I don't have those, but that's still pretty funny because
I'm not saying there weren't funny parts in it. I just think they tried to make it too funny, and all they did was just make it too cheesy.
It was a Taika Waititi funny.
I don't know.
That was random. They even married off
because Ragnarok was also
not Gronk. What's his name? What is the
Rock guy? I don't remember it. I think
they married him off with Dwayne The Rock.
That's crazy.
Taika, dude. That's awesome. Crazy. He's awesome.
Yeah, no, like my issue with Brave New World, there were just too many plot holes that just didn't make sense. Like there were a lot. Yeah. There were a lot. What they did good with this one was that they let it breathe. With Thunderbolts, they let it breathe, and it was just one plot line, one story, all the way through.
Yep.
You know, and you understood it. While Brave New World were like 5 different things, and they were all trying to shove it in this 2-hour movie, and you just
you can't.
What the heck is happening?
It's hard too because like if you think about all the Avenger movies that came out prior to, right? You have all these characters, and each character has their own timeline, essentially, right?
Yeah. Despite
whether or not Loki is holding on to that said timeline, everybody has different parts of their lives that doesn't really coincide when us, the audience, is watching in. But
you know what? I don't know if I said this when we watched Brave New World. Brave New World was Marvel's version of the Justice League, in the sense that it was like just so much information was just trying to put in, and it just didn't feel completed. It felt rushed, and it like oh, we really need to put everything in. Bah, 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 bah. Yeah. And before you knew it, it was the end of the movie, and you're just like,
there was a lot of revisions too, from what I heard.
Yeah, but that was those are my things. Like I said, Thunderbolt, fantastic movie, did a great job. I am so happy, and I hope that Thunderbolt is the beginning of a new era, in the sense that these movies finally start getting good again. Like it really felt like they put the people put effort into making a movie that their fans would actually enjoy. And in my opinion, Thunderbolts kind of did that.
Well, that's going to wrap up this episode. Don't forget to follow us on IG, Facebook, X, and TikTok. You can find all of our content here on YouTube. Please leave a review, as it will help our podcast grow. Join our community on Discord, and thanks again for watching. And don't forget, turn it to 11.